I got one question for this crowd. Just want to think about this question for a second. Are you ready to win for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz? Are you ready to win this Senate race? Now, I know we got a lot of folks from Philly. How many people here from the city of Philadelphia? Now, I'm going to do this by geography from right to left. Bucks County, Montgomery County, Chester County, Delaware County. Anybody here from Scranton? We'll get to all the other counties later, but I want to thank you all for being here tonight. We want to thank President Obama for being here with us tonight. The president who made it possible for us to pass into law the Affordable Care Act, which brought health care to 1.4 million Pennsylvanians. And you all know what this race is about, both the presidential race, my race, and all the races for Congress. This is an election about working families. It's about an election to lower costs, to fight the fentanyl crisis, and to fight for women's rights, workers' rights, and voting rights. Now, I want to spend a couple minutes, sorry about this, I want to talk about my opponent for a couple minutes. You might know him. He's a former hedge fund CEO. He's got a little money. He's worth a couple $100 million. And while I was delivering for the people of Pennsylvania, delivering for our families, investing in our schools and our communities, he was running this hedge fund and delivering for China. That's what he was doing. He started this campaign lying about living in Pennsylvania. He was living in Connecticut. The Associated Press told us that. Not that I remember the date, but it was August 14th, 2023. Just read it, take a look at it. He didn't vote in Pennsylvania for 15 years. He even told stories about how he grew up. He said he came from nothing. At one point he said he was a farmer, and he was a hedge fund CEO. So he doesn't understand our Commonwealth, and he doesn't understand the people of our state that make Pennsylvania what it is. So, while all of you were working with us on greedflation, going after big companies that are ripping off families on food and household items, price gouging, I introduced legislation to go after these big companies for gouging families. You know who opposed that bill? My opponent. He's wrong about that. We should go after those companies and hold them accountable. So, you know where he is. He's on the side of big corporations and billionaires. He's already promised them that he's going to vote for their tax cuts for those big companies and billionaires that I've already voted against. And I've told them, if they try to increase taxes on working families to give a tax cut to billionaires and big corporations, I'm voting against them. You know, my opponent even wants to repeal the law that capped insulin at $35 a month, right? Boo, right. And that law also will put in place this January a cap on all out-of-pocket costs, drug costs for seniors. He opposes that bill. So all these big billionaires are coming into Pennsylvania, these out-of-state billionaires. They're paying for 80% of his ads, attacking me. Well, I got news for those billionaires. On Election Day, not only am I going to beat David McCormick, but we're going to beat those billionaires too. So I think it's pretty clear the people of our state can't trust my opponent to be for families, can't trust my opponent to stand up for seniors, and certainly can't trust my opponent to stand up for women's reproductive rights. You know what he said. You know what he said when Roe v. Wade was overturned. Here's what he said. He said that quote made him very, very happy. I don't believe our daughters should have fewer rights than their mothers or their grandmothers. Right? So we got some work to do. We've got to keep working like you all are. So many people here, every one of you, is doing something already. You're here tonight. Some of you are knocking on doors. Most of you are. Writing postcards, making phone calls, contributing to this campaign and to Kamala Harris's campaign. So we got some work to do. And I know you've already done work, not just for days or weeks, but for months. But I have to ask you, are you ready to keep working these next 8 days to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz? I know you're ready, and I know you won't slow down. So I just want to do one more thing. I want to make an introduction. Let me start by saying, I think we can all agree that the last 25 years in America have been tough years for our country. A lot of tough days for American families and American workers. Just think about it. 2 economic downturns that led to terrible job loss just in the last 25 years. A pandemic that killed more than 1.1 million Americans. We've had a terrible rise in gun violence the last 25 years. So many families devastated by that loss of life. A fentanyl and an overdose crisis as well. Political divisions, threats to our democracy. So many challenges our families have faced. And in all these years, and long before that, we've had a recording artist who's helped us through these times. He happens to be with us tonight. For those watching on television, that was Bruce. They were saying Bruce. This recording artist has helped us through a lot of dark times. He's helped lift up our families at those times and during happier times. His songs are like a hymnal. They're like a prayer for our country. These songs that he has written and that we know so much about, these songs are full of gratitude and sometimes full of grief. They're songs full of celebration and reflections on the country we are and who we hope to be. Whether it was Thunder Road or Born to Run, or We Take Care of Our Own, whatever album or whatever song you've listened to, he's made an impression on all of us and our families. And when I think of We Take Care of Our Own, I think of how we do this as a Commonwealth and as a country. We take care of our children. We care about those kids. We take care of seniors. We take care of veterans. We take care of people with disabilities. We fight for our workers. That's taking care of our own, right? And one more thing. There's a line in that song, We Take Care of Our Own, when Bruce says, I've been looking for the map that leads me home. That map, he knows, and the reason he's here tonight, that map is the map of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. He's helping us get there. Bruce Springsteen.